technology. Shonda's got a technology
Oh,
challenge. It's making it look like it's a wardrobe malfunction, but it's not wardrobe, it's technology. And she's back there trying to fix everything. But good to see everybody.
all things Monday Night Live. We always have
Good to see everybody. Y'all ain't on camera. You just got these beautiful pictures. I understand. You got these nice pictures, and Francis, good to see you, Judith. We need some men on Monday Night Live. It's like a women's convention.
We're gonna have to do a men's topic of some sort. Get your brothers out.
We have to have the best men's topic is women. Gotta get the men out.
You gotta let them know we have the women on Monday Night Live. We show up.
That's
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Let us know.
Everybody. We got a lot to tell you. As soon as Shonda gets her act together.
This is a big night.
Hey, Margie, good to see you.
All right, let's see if this works.
Who else do we see? I see Nikki, Joe Jones, Sister Fulgham, Donna.
All right. Good evening,
Judith. Hey, Judith, good to see you. All right, so your head is connected to your hair now?
It sure is. Hello, everybody. Officially, thank you for bearing with us. As you can see, our special guest is already doing his thing, but we want to officially welcome you to Monday Night Live, where we talk all things D-Free, all things money, all things financial. We are so happy to see you all again. I know a lot's been going on with D-Free, and we're excited to have our CEO and founder, Dr. DeForest B. Soaries Jr. with us tonight, who's going to break it down and let us know what's going on. But in the meantime, we want to make sure that you keep that chat open, that you engage in the chat. We want to see your questions in the chat. If you have a comment that you'd like to add, feel free to raise your hand. We'd love to join you, have you join the conversation. This session is being recorded. I know when you came in, you saw it. It's being recorded because we have a little bit of people tonight, but we're going to have a lot of people coming in as we proceed. So people watch the rewatch. So please make sure that you know that that's available on dfreefoundation.org.com. So looking forward to seeing everybody and joining this conversation where we talk about what's coming up in D-Free. Good evening, Dr. Soaries.
Yeah, before we do that, Shonda, where have you been? What country have you visited? What state are you coming from? Where are you now?
I am literally coming back from Texas. I am now in New Jersey. Texas was awesome. I went to Houston, Texas to participate in a Juneteenth event, which went wonderful with Attack Poverty. And then I headed over to Dallas, Fort Worth, where we actually had an opportunity to walk with the grandmother of Juneteenth, Dr. Opal Lee, and that was hot. Dr. Soaries.
You're not lying. It was hot. It was hot. Folks, you all should know that Shonda has two missions. One of her missions is D-Free, of course, and she's been just one of our champions helping people around the country learn how to lead D-Free in the organization churches, learning how, teaching people how to facilitate D-Free as teachers and coaches, and just, coordinating our Monday Night Live, and just been a real ambassador for D-Free. She is also working with a group of young people who call themselves Heal America.
Yes.
And they are from all over the country. They work in communities. Their primary focus right now has to do with community safety, trying to build bridges between our community and police. We believe that if the police know us better, they're less likely to shoot us. And if we know the police better, we're less likely to be afraid. And so she's been doing phenomenal work. We'll talk more about that in weeks to come.
Yes.
And we'll talk about Thursday night. Before we leave, Shonda, don't let us forget about Thursday night with the Thursday Night Live with Miss Opal Lee.
Yes,
but
indeed.
I want to talk to you. I want to talk to all of you tonight about the D-Free Leadership Conference. We started D-Free back in 2005 at First Baptist Church in Somerset. Then in 2010, CNN did a 90-minute documentary called Almighty Debt. And that documentary focused on the D. Free Ministry at First Baptist. They aired it in October of 2010, and 14.9 million people saw that. They aired it again in February of 2011 for Black History Month, and they cut it down to an hour. What I'd like to know is, did anyone who was with us tonight see that documentary on CNN? If you did, put in the chat, just say, I saw it. I saw the CNN documentary. Let me see who saw, hey, Boston, who saw the CNN documentary? Because if nobody saw it, we're gonna have to figure out a way to show it to you.
Yep.
If you didn't see it, okay, we'll let her thank you. We have one copy. CNN gave us one copy on DVD. And I think my son knows how to upload a DVD video, and we can figure out how to share that. Anybody else? Did you
I
see
think,
it?
are we able to see it on YouTube as well? Is
Nikki
there?
Gentry didn't see it. You know what? On YouTube, they actually have excerpts
Mhm.
of the documentary, but they don't have the entire thing.
Right. Okay, got it.
Anyone else not see it? First of all, I'm very encouraged that you didn't see it, because a lot of people who call us only call us because they saw us on TV.
Yeah.
In fact, some people think it was on 60 Minutes. Some people think it was on some other show, but it was actually Soledad O'Brien was the host of a series called Black in America on CNN back in 2008, 9, and 10. And we were the third installation of Black in America. Anyway, we then, of course, wrote the book and released the workbook. And from 2010, after CNN put us on full blast, we've been traveling the country, doing workshops, building out websites. And what we've tried to do in as many years as we could is once a year just pause and celebrate the people who are D-Free activists like yourselves, give recognition to churches and other groups that are leading people to financial freedom, have guest speakers and all kinds of events at what we call our annual D-Free Leadership Conference. And this year is no different. Now we're doing it virtually because we're trying to help people be D-Free and not have to travel all the way across the country. And also we can squeeze more content into a virtual platform than if we had an all-day event and had to have food and transportation to the hotel. So this year, the conference is July 29th. Almost every year, we've had a conference either in July or October, and we kind of use October now for FinFest, which we'll talk about later on. So July 29th, we're going to have our annual leadership conference. And I just want to share with you some of the highlights, because what we're going to need you to do is to go to the website, get your email, and then share it with other people on social media. We're going to have a panel, 2 or 3 people talking about D-Free in their churches. We've got 3 pastors who are going to talk about D-Free. One pastor talks about how his church was using Dave Ramsey, and they decided that they wanted to switch from Dave Ramsey to D-Free, and he talks about some of the reasons. There's another pastor who started years ago with D-Free, and D-Free became such a part of the culture of his church, they literally paid off all the church's debt during the pandemic.
Awesome.
And then a third pastor in Kentucky offers D-Free, and he explained why he continuously makes reference to D-Free in his sermons on Sunday morning. So that's one panel. And I think you'll love these pastors. You know, it's a wonderful thing to hear about pastors who are not scandalous. They're not corrupt. They're not egotistical. They're not self-absorbed, but they really do believe that God calls shepherds to serve the sheep and not sheep to serve the shepherds. So it's a very inspiring and educational panel with pastors. And then we have a panel of people who have led D-Free in community organizations, not churches, but community organizations. There's an organization in Charleston, South Carolina called Increasing Hope.
Yes.
And it's essentially a HUD certified housing counseling organization. They teach people about first-time home ownership.
Mhm.
They help people whose homes are in foreclosure. And they decided that D3 was a great supplement to the HUD certified curricula that they use. And so she'll be on. And then, of course, our Divine Nine community, the Zetas, the Deltas, they'll be there to talk about how D3 has really become a vital and integral part of their sorority life. So that's going to be at the conference, and you'll see some of the dynamic community leaders that are part of D3. And then we have a panel of financial professionals. We always talk about people needing to talk to a financial professional. We always talk about financial professionals being licensed and certified, and we beg people, don't take financial advice from your beautician. Your beautician is licensed, but licensed to do hair. Your beautician is not licensed to give you financial advice. So we have a group of financial professionals who have worked in the D3 ministry, both in and outside the church. And they're going to talk about the role of financial professionals in wealth creation.
Oh,
And the reason that's important is because we lead with debt reduction, and we do. I'm unapologetic about that. It doesn't make sense to be trying to invest in the stock market and invest in real estate and invest in Bitcoin, and you're paying Citibank 18% interest on a credit card. So getting out of debt is really the first step towards financial freedom. But D3 is not just a nickname for debt-free. When people say D3, they often think D3 just stands for debt-free. But D3, the D in D3 starts with debt. It deals with delinquencies, which means that we've got to get organized so that we can pay our bills on time. It deals with deficit living, which means that we've got to live below our means. It deals with real estate because we want our names on deeds. Deals with investing so that we can make money on dividends, and also deals with savings so that we can put deposits in our own accounts. So D3 is not just about debt. And that's why building wealth is really the goal. And to build wealth, you need a financial professional to teach you about IRAs, to teach you about 529 plans, to teach you how to manage your 401k or your 403b, to teach you about I-bonds. That's why you need financial professionals to teach you how to take the motivation and information that you get from D3 and turn it into wealth. Our moderator for that panel is a brother from Atlanta who does not work for us. He's worked with us, and he is just an absolutely wonderful Christian gentleman who loves God and loves people. And then we've got 2 or 3 other people on that panel. Now, that's the meat and the substance of the program. We also have a presentation from our educational consultant who has now taken all of the D3 content that you're familiar with and turned it into curricula so that we can offer D3 courses in schools. We've been told for years, you got to get to the young people, you got to get to the young people. So finally, we now have content that schools can use. We're talking to South Carolina. We're going to pilot in Pennsylvania. We've got content for New Jersey. We're just going state by state because every state has their own standards for financial education. So our consultant and team are tailoring the D3 content to meet the core curriculum standards in that state. And you're going to see at the D3 conference on July 29th, which is free, you're going to see a presentation of that and get a little snippet and sample of that. Marge, did you have your hand up? Because I'll stop talking and answer your question. Maybe it was an accident. So that's one presentation. Then we're going to have an update on what D3 is doing in Africa. D3 is going strong in Ghana, West Africa. I got an email last week informing me that the South Africa Baptist Convention has officially voted to make D3 the official curriculum for all Baptist churches in South Africa.
That's amazing.
So I'm sure, Shonda, you'll be volunteering to go down there and preach
Whatever
in
you need
South
me to do.
Africa. But we have a wonderful Baptist Convention in South Africa. That's a good foundation. We're going to translate the workbook into Rand, the South African currency, and make sure that we're relevant. So you'll get an update from South Africa and what D3 is doing there and how we're working with folks in South Africa. Also, we are doing some work in Liberia. We are doing community projects in Ghana. And so you're going to hear about that at the conference, all on the 29th in the morning. Hello, Sister Cam. Brother Josh, good to see you. Lisa, good to see you. And then there's going to be a video presentation describing for you what we're going to launch on July 24th. July 24th, we're launching something called D3 Digital. And D3 Digital is an app-like platform where all the D3 content you can go through on your phone. And we'll tell you more about that later, but there'll be a presentation on D3 Digital on July 29th. So I don't think I missed anything. There'll be a couple of announcements here and there. I'll be bringing you up to date on what's happening with D3 personally. We'll be launching the fourth Meditation for Financial Freedom, Volume 4. The fourth volume, we'll be launching the fourth volume of our meditation series. As you know, I've got these books. It's a devotional book where one day for every month, there's a scripture and there's a story and there's a prayer. And the whole idea is to help us keep focused on biblical principles that inspire financial freedom. And we started on Genesis 1:1. We're now up to the Book of Kings. And when I get done with this entire series, you would have read highlights from Genesis to Revelation.
Awesome.
And I give you a story from that section of the Bible. On no later than July 29th, I'll be announcing Meditations for Financial Freedom, Part 4, Volume 4. We've got Volumes 1, 2, and 3 already. And I'm giving a free copy of the newest meditations book to the first 200 people who register. So I want all of you to register. And if you're in the first 200, we're going to send you a free autographed copy of my book. So that's the D3 conference. And our goal is to get individuals, churches, and organizations to sign up for what we're calling the D3 Collective.
Yes.
And the D3 Collective is a more formal way to network and to meet other people and to share our stories and to motivate people through the D3 Collective. It's not a convention. It's not an organization. It's a fellowship. And the fellowship will give us permission to send you information that we don't send everybody. You know, everybody's not interested in everything. So what we want the people who are really interested in D3, people who really support D3, people who really understand the need and the value for a faith-based, culturally relevant, affordable financial ministry. We want them to be in this D3 Collective. And by being in the collective, you'll share information with us. We'll share information with you. We'll put you on our map so that when people go to our website and they want to know what church or what organization or what leader is able to teach me about D3 in my state, they can just go to the map. And because you're in the collective, they'll be able to identify where you are, where they are, and get in touch with you. We like to promote your ministry, promote your leadership, and promote what you're doing in your community. So that's where we are. And it's all on July 29th. It's Saturday morning, and we're looking forward to seeing you. But more importantly, we need you to help us spread the word. If you have a YouTube channel, if you have a Facebook page, if you have an Instagram page, if you have a Twitter account, it doesn't cost you anything to help us spread the word, because there are people who will sign up for the conference because you said so quicker than they would because I said so. So that's it, Reverend Sutton. I've said everything I came to say. And if there's anything else I need to say, I'll say it. But if
Yeah.
there's nothing else I need to say, I will go and eat my dinner.
No, we need you to share about Thursday night as well. We have
Oh,
some-
yes, I forgot about Thursday night. But let's answer any questions about D-Free or the collective or the conference or the books or anything else.
yes.
Do
Well, the
you
link
see
is in
any-
the chat, so you can go ahead and register if you haven't already. There's a link so that you can go ahead and register today because you want to be part of that first 200 so that you can get your free copy of the brand new meditation volume 4. Are there any questions? Again, this conference is for the free. That means you don't have to pay. So you wanna-
Royetta just said she just registered.
all right, Miss Royetta.
That's
The
wonderful.
Deltas are registering. Are there any other organizations there? Make sure you share. Make sure you share with your chapters as well, your churches. Let everybody know this is a conference you can watch from home. Yes,
Wonderful.
you can get your breakfast and coffee and line up and get all this good word, good food.
Nikki Gentry just registered.
Nikki's in there. Hey, Nikki.
Yeah.
We out there.
Wonderful.
And I know she's a one that will share. So make sure you share it on your social media, Nikki, as well. We get a lot of people that come through Nikki and through Miss Royetta. So please be sure if you've taught a D-Free class, make sure you go back to the class and give them some reinforcement and let them know this is a good time to check in. All right. It'll be 7 a.m. for me. Oh, are you going to be an early
Yeah.
riser? We should send
It's not too early. It's not too early.
on a
It's
Saturday.
early. It's early, but it's not too early.
All right. Well, that's
No,
faithful.
that's great.
Miss
That's
Royetta.
great.
Yes, indeed. She said only for you. You see that in there?
Thank you so much. Thank you. We have so much planned for D-Free, and we're going to share. Oh, Sister Hunter also registered. Isn't that great?
Excellent. That's what we
Kenya.
wanna see.
We have so much to share. We're developing content. We've got young people as interns over the summer. We're updating the D-Free workbook. You know, the D-Free workbook, I just realized today, Sister Shonda, when I met with our intern,
Mhm.
the D-Free workbook was written in 2016.
Wow.
It is now 2023. So we have a group of young people going through the workbook. That workbook was written before Grubhub. It
Wow.
was written before Uber Eats.
Yes.
So there's a lot that has developed and unfolded since that workbook come out. So we have to update the workbook,
Yeah.
and we've got to add some of the features that aren't in the workbook because the workbook is 7 years old. And see, there was a time when being 7 years old didn't matter. But
Right.
now the whole world changes almost every 6 months.
Really does.
Every
Bitcoin,
6 months.
so many things aren't in
And
there. Yeah.
technology is driving that. Technology is driving it. So we've got a second edition of the workbook that's being
exciting.
developed right now. And we see, let me tell you what our mission is: to produce content and strategies,
Mm.
but to be used by other people. So we're not trying to replace churches. We're not trying to replace other organizations. All we're trying to do is to continuously create tools and strategies that other organizations can use to help Black people. That's the strategy. Leonard, now, you know, that's a blessing. I asked the Lord for some men, and we got.
Look at
we
God.
got-
He sent you
that's
Josh
right.
and Leonard.
Thank the Lord for 2 men, Josh and Leonard. So that's our role. We're not trying to replace anybody. We're not trying to compete with anybody. We're trying to create tools. Donna Joseph says she registered.
Registered. Yep. I was prepared.
We're trying to create tools that existing groups and existing leaders can use to enhance their work, because the tools that we create are unique. There is no one else creating the exact tools that we created. That doesn't make us better. It just makes us different. And sometimes you got to switch up and have an option to
Right.
reach people with information that they need. So I want to thank all of you so much. Thanks for your registrations. And we're going to be in touch with all of you even more, because the closer we get to July 29th, the more help we're going to need from you.
Yes.
All
And I
right. So you want me to talk about Thursday night? now.
Yes, I just wanted to say thank you, Dr. Soares, because our Monday Night Live audience gets all of the nuggets for free first. And so we really appreciate you coming on and sharing this snapshot for us before you sharing it with the world. And I love how you've broken everything down. So we got a lot that we can share with others. And when we're telling everybody about registering, at least we have some meat and we can tell them about some things that may be interested to them, whether they're in a church or an organization. There's something in this conference for everybody. And again, it's accessible for free. And we want to thank God for pastors who don't mind helping people, not just spiritually, but also helping them practically. Holistic ministry. That's what it's all about. So make sure you share that with your pastors as well. It's always such a subject that is so tough to talk about, our finances. So be sure to share it with your family. And as you can see, there's some things for young people as well. So invite everybody out. You can do it from the comforts of your own home. So thank you, Dr. Soares. We appreciate that. And yes, we know that there's something exciting happening on Thursday as well. So we want to share that with our audience as well.
All right. So as all of you know, Juneteenth is now a federal holiday. And there are people who are negative about that. There are people who believe that Juneteenth being a federal holiday makes it commercial and it'll lose its significance. I'll just tell you the truth. I didn't even know what Juneteenth was till I was grown. I mean, real grown.
Wow.
And growing up in New Jersey, I didn't know anything about Juneteenth. When I did learn about Juneteenth, I just thought it was Black people in the South having parties and family reunions.
Right.
So I have no problem with Juneteenth being a federal holiday. I think it's one of the first times this country has been forced to acknowledge that slavery was immoral and probably illegal, and that it had to end. And the whole narrative around Juneteenth gives us a chance to teach people. One of the reasons people are so mean is because they're ignorant and they just don't know, and they haven't been taught, and we haven't been taught. So anyway, Juneteenth has been celebrated by many people, particularly in the South, ever since 1866. However, in recent years, there's been a movement to make Juneteenth a federal holiday, and the person most responsible in that movement is a woman by the name of Opal Lee, O-P-A-L Lee, L-E-E. She's from Texas. She led a petition drive and got 500,000 petitions signed. She walked from Texas to Washington, D.C. to deliver the petitions to the White House. And when President Biden signed the Juneteenth holiday into law, he had Miss Opal Lee standing next to him. She was at that time, I think, was 95 years old. And every year on Juneteenth, she leads this Walk for Freedom. And the Walk for Freedom is an invitation not only to support Juneteenth being a federal holiday, but it's also a call for Americans to come together and work cooperatively to address the problems that yet remain. Now, here's what's profound. It's profound that she led this movement in her 90s. It's profound that she walked from Washington from Texas to Washington. It's absolutely profound that she got 500,000 signatures. And it's also profound that she did all of that as a 90-something year old. All of that is absolutely profound. What is, for me, most profound is that when Opal Lee was 12 years old, white racists in Texas burned down her family home, burned it down on Juneteenth.
My gosh.
And instead of using Juneteenth to remind white people of how mean they are and remind Black people of how mean white people are, Opal Lee has dedicated her life to using the very day that her family experienced such extreme trauma as having white people burn their house down, to forgive white people and to invite white people and Black people to work together to heal America and to solve America's problems together. Now, I'm gonna tell you something. My father died at 47 years old. He died on he died on March the 12th. And I'm sorry, that was the day I was kidnapped. He died on April 12th. And he died from medical malpractice. He died because an anesthesiologist gave him so much anesthesia before he went for tests that the anesthesia induced a heart attack, and he died at 47 years old on April 12th, 1975. Every April 12th, I'm mad at anesthesiologists.
Yeah.
Listen, the
Without-
anniversary of my father's death just reminds me
Yeah.
of the pain that I experienced. So for this woman, on the anniversary of the very day that her house was burned down, to say, you know what, let's get past that. Let's come together. Let's work together. Let's go forward with love. That for me is more amazing than all of the other things she's done, because it really speaks to the fact that if you hold on to your pain, you'll never be able to heal from your pain, and you'll never be able to get past it and do something redemptive. So I went to Texas 2 years in a row, and this woman, she walks 2.5 miles every Juneteenth to commemorate the fact that it took 2.5 years between 1863 Emancipation Proclamation and
Yes.
1865, when the people who were enslaved in Texas found out they were freed for 2.5 years. And last Monday, a week today,
Yeah, week today.
it was 100 degrees outside,
Woo.
and Opal Lee is walking with long sleeves on,
Yes,
and
she
I'm
was.
there trying to keep up with her. And I said, bring me a golf cart. I had to get a golf cart to catch up with that old woman who was 96 years old. And so Thursday night, I said all of that to say, on Thursday night, we're going to actually have Opal Lee live on, what is it going to be on?
Is it a streaming service?
I don't know. You can sign up.
We have a sign up. I'll put the graphic.
Put something in the chat. We're going to
Yeah.
be talking to her about how it felt when her house was burned down at 12 years old. And I want to ask her, why aren't you mad at white people?
Yes.
Now, I'm going to ask her that straight. How could you not be mad at white people for burning down your house on whatever day it was? But that insult to injury is on Juneteenth. And how can you, on the very day that your house was burned down, be marching and loving white people and all that? So we're going to ask, and then listen, now here's the bonus. Here's the bonus. Then we got a young guy named Leon Ford.
Mhm.
Leon Ford was shot by the police in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, 6 times in his back. And he wasn't even the person they were looking for.
My God.
Leon Ford is now paralyzed for the rest of his life. And you know what Leon Ford did? Leon Ford, in the spirit of Opal Lee, went and contacted the police chief in Pittsburgh, sat down with the police chief, forgave the policeman who shot him. And now Leon Ford and the police in Pittsburgh have formed a foundation to bring together the police of the community in Pittsburgh from a wheelchair.
Yes.
He's going to be on Thursday night also.
Yep.
Then we have a cop,
Mhm.
a Black policeman, who goes around the country teaching policemen how to treat people in general and how to treat Black people in particular. Black cop. So anyway, this is Thursday night. That's why I want you all to be there, because this has nothing to do with D-Free per se. But the reality is, all trauma is trauma. All pain is pain. But at the same time, we've got those of us who are looking for financial freedom have to understand that if we are bound spiritually, if we are consumed by hatred, if we can't get past our current situation, then having all the money in the world is not going to help us. So that's Thursday night. What time is it, Chanda?
7 p.m. Eastern.
7 p.m. I'll
Eastern.
be hosting. I'll be talking to Opal Lee. I'll be talking to Leon Ford. I'll be talking to Ryan Tillman. And then what we'll do is give you an opportunity to stay connected, because we're doing this stuff. Listen, we are, the whole movement is called Heal America. I told you, Sean is involved.
Yes.
And we're connecting people like these all across the country, because, you know, the media doesn't like people like these. The media wants to put you on the news if you're a hater, if you're cussing folks out, or of course you get on BT if you're shaking your body, and just all of that nonsense and wretchedness.
Wretchedness.
But I'm committed. In the days I have left, I promised the Lord I was going to help people get rich, and I was going to give people an opportunity to be involved in solving problems that people claim can't be solved. So that's where we're going. Meet us here Thursday night, and you can spread that word too. Let's see. I think, did you put something in the chat, Shonda?
Josh did. He put it in the chat, and I believe it was also put earlier by Ms. Deb. So the
Okay,
link is in
good.
the chat to join the conversation on Thursday night. We'll put it in again. So it'll be at the top of your list there. So we'll
That's
make
good.
sure that's
So
that.
y'all can see I'm retired from being the pastor of First Baptist, but I'm busier now than I've ever been. And I'm enjoying being busy because I'm not going to sit on the porch and rock back and forth in retirement. I'm going to be busy doing something that makes sense. So God bless you all. Are there any other questions?
I got some more news too.
What you got?
We'll take the questions first. But as we wrap up, I do have a little bit more news. I looked at the $1 billion challenge. Have you seen it lately?
No, John. What does it say?
We have crossed over $40 million. So I'm going to share that.
Right.
Oh,
Oh,
yes,
Lord.
I'm going to
That
share
is
that
wonderful. Share it on the screen.
now. We're about to do that right this second. We are so happy. Thank you, Dr. Stories, for being with us and for sharing tonight and giving us all these little lovely tidbits and nuggets. We
Where's the
appreciate
number?
you.
Why? That's me. That's not the $1 billion challenge.
I know it's coming. I just want to
Oh.
remind everybody to come to the leadership conference. You can sign up and register today. The link is in the chat. In addition, the Thursday night conversation with Dr. Opal Lee and the special guest, that is also in the chat. That link is in there. And boom, drum roll, please. Whoa, paid off debt today.
Wow. I didn't know that.
Yes.
I did not know that.
$388,204. $1 billion challenge. So if you haven't registered, please do so. You can be paying down debt and you can be accumulating savings. So we want you to use this online tracking tool. You can do it at www.billiondollarpaydown.com or www.billiondollarchallenge.com. Both websites lead to the same destination. This is our communal effort to pay down debt in the Black and Brown community and to accumulate some savings. So please, if you haven't registered, do so today. And of course, there's many ways to give back to the D3 Global Foundation. If you're interested, we always make that available to you. And we thank you so much for your support. And just a couple of reminders, you can visit our website at d3foundation.org. You can sign up for our new D3 online academy at myd3.org. And of course, the $1 billion challenge. And if you check your chat, you can also make sure that you register for the leadership conference and the Thursday night conversation. If you have any questions, you can contact us at 844-693-3733. That's 844-MY-D-FREE. So please, if you want to start a ministry at your church, if you want to start using D3 with your organization, our team is ready and available and waiting to hear from you. You can email us at info@mydfree.org. Many of them are right here in the conversation today in the background. So we thank you, Josh. We thank you, Ms. Deb, and we thank you, Angela, just for everything that you're doing in the background and in the chat. Dr. Stories, any last words today?
That's it. Thank you, Shonda, for your motivating presence and for your consistent leadership. And thanks to our team, Josh and Maxine and Angela and everybody else who helps us in the back. And I look forward to seeing everybody Thursday night. God bless.
God bless you all.